All right, folks, welcome back. In my last video, we talked about actually how to do data analysis, and we covered 4 steps. Let's review them really quick. We talked about asking questions, extracting data, analyzing it, and then answering that specific question. What I want to go into more depth or detail today about is actually this step, extracting the data. And I mentioned a skill that actually is used to extract data, and that's called SQL, or Structured Query Language. So what does actually structured query language do, and why should you actually learn how to use it? Well, what structured query language does is it takes a very large table of data, think billions if not trillions of rows of data, and it converts it into something manageable, maybe 10 rows of data, of the information that you actually need. And this data is stored in a relational database itself. Now, why do you have to learn this skill? Why is it important? Why am I even talking to you about this today? Well, take a look here. You're a product manager, let's say, and you have a very specific question. You want to know how many people are actually logging into your app using either an Android device or maybe an iOS device. Then your buddy next to you, who's also a product manager and has an MBA, well, he's got another question. And then Rick, the director of sales, he's got his own question. Then the head of marketing, he's got his own question. Then the account rep, she's got her own question. Then the other product manager, she's got her own question. And then eventually, there's all of these people who have a lot of questions that they need answered. What happens next? Well, that gets funneled into the extract data phase. These folks generally don't know how to write SQL, which is totally okay, but here's where the problem comes into play. You've got a team of data analysts, an analytics team, and these 3 folks are supposed to answer these 20 folks' questions and actually get the data out for them. What ends up happening? Well, they say something like, well, we'd love to answer your question, but first, you're going to actually have to fill out a JIRA, a trouble ticket, detailing the business objectives, what actually you're trying to answer, and what ends up happening. Well, these analysts argue amongst themselves and try to figure out who here has the most important questions. And then you're kind of sitting back going, why am I waiting to get my data pulled for me? Why can't I just do this myself? I'd be asking myself the same thing. So as we move on to analyzing the data, how many people know how to do this? Well, using GUI tools like Tableau, Excel, and Power BI, the barrier to entry there is much, much lower than it is for SQL, or so they say. But a lot of people know how to do this stuff, analyzing data using Excel, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, Google Analytics. And folks are pretty good at answering questions, especially these product and program managers, director of sales, heads of marketing, account reps, storytellers, good at this step. What happens here? Well, we've got a lot of folks who can do this, which funnels in to maybe a couple folks who know how to extract data, which then opens up to the broader groups who are really good at steps 3 and 4. Are you kind of noticing something here? Are you noticing something in this visualization? What's going on here? This is the bottleneck. This is the bottleneck in analytics. This is why you should learn SQL. You want to be able to navigate and get around these folks. They have too many questions that they need to answer. So navigating that bottleneck, very important. Think of it like this. If you've ever been at a bar and all of you wanted, what a funny way to say it, and all you've wanted is just a glass of water, and there's 9, maybe 10 people in front of you, and they want a Crantini, they want a Mac and Jacks, they want this, this, and that. And you're sitting at the end of the line and you're thinking to yourself, Geez, all I really want is just a glass of water. That's it. It's time, folks. It's time to jump over the counter and make your own drink and stop waiting in line to get the information and data that you need, which is why I'm hosting an SQL class specifically oriented toward product and program managers on how to pull data using the language itself. If you're interested, please direct message me for details, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Thank you.